Hello and welcome back to the Outreach Project, episode 2. I can't tell you how thrilled I am, Josh. We've got episode 1 in the books. We're working on number 2. Any kind of comments, positive reactions, negative reactions you've received on the side?
I mean, it's fast and furious already. I know we've only just put out some snippets of what we're doing, and we're already getting feedback, already connecting the dots, already, putting basically people in places and making that network grow without even launching the first episode. So what we're doing is needed 100%. So let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And without, spoiling the interview, we got Veterans Creed coming on. Listen, the guy that we interviewed today, I can't tell you, this guy literally is he's a character out of a movie or out of a book. If you thought of like an Army veteran, that was him. Who is this guy?
So, I mean, Veterans Creed, he's the state representative for Veterans Creed themselves. But dude, like you said, I mean, he is every character and more, but he is faith-based at heart. And he does all this stuff out of the goodness of his heart. Like, you talk to him for 5 seconds, he's dealing with families, he's dealing with kids, he's dealing with, church, he's dealing with everything to do with the outdoors. He's a hunter, he's a man's man, he's a tattooed Army veteran, and he is just one of the most down-to-earth dudes that you could probably run into.
Yeah, and not to rinse and repeat this, but just so you guys are out there watching, we're going to go in, we're going to have this interview, and we're going to connect, and we're going to bridge that gap, just as Josh talked about on episode 1. We want to make sure that you guys have a way to connect through either the podcast or through the website and reaching out directly to these nonprofits. We're going to talk about why they care so much inside of the nonprofit space, what really intrigued them to get involved. We're going to talk about who they serve, how you can be involved, and things like that. But before we jump into it, think about it like this, Josh. A lot of things have been happening in your personal life too. We've got the I Am Redemption podcast. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to connect with Sean Livingston and go on his podcast. He's basically been a mentor since I even mentioned wanting to get into the podcast space. Awesome guy, great story. He's just all about resilience and taking everybody through different stories and different aspects. He has friends that have been through the prison system. He's been in trouble himself, and we talked about that through some of the stuff I've been through. And yeah, it's been awesome, especially as we approach launch of episode 1. He's all about it and super supportive, so couldn't be more appreciative of that guy.
Yeah, we'll make sure to we link that into the show notes, into any post that we have. We'll link that I Am Redemption podcast with Josh Melching to make sure that if you guys are interested, you can watch that. And one last thing, I don't want to overlook this, but the impact that you have on your personal life with your sister. Can you give us an update on Jamie?
Yeah, so my sister's battling cervical cancer right now. It's metastatic cervical cancer. She just completed round 2 chemo. Doing good. Numbers are good. Spirits are high. But the one thing that I want to mention too is and I've talked about this with her and my family, of how crazy it is, kind of this snowball of networking, that since I've been involved with the nonprofits and going into these resources and making connections, and every time I get involved with a nonprofit, that's a whole nother group of good people. Like, you increase your network, you increase your net worth at the same time. And some of the people that have been so supportive have never even met my sister. Like, realistically, they're people that know her through me. They know she's in my family. They know what I stand for. So, when I put out my sister's GoFundMe, and when I know that someone needs help, they know that I mean it, and they know that it's something that's important. It's just crazy, the network of support that comes along with some of these organizations, and what you can give to other people through these organizations.
Yeah, and just so you guys are tracking too, Josh is being modest here. Like when he says that people were reaching out to him, they were literally saying like, "I want to donate money." Like how everything's closed. Like you guys have hit your limit. You know, Josh, the network you're talking about, they obviously take care of you. They love you, and through that, hopefully your sister feels loved just as much as they love you. And I can't tell you, man, how much it shows the world the goodness, because we do need something like that, because every time it seems like we turn on the news, we get something bad. But what I really would like is when you guys fall into this interview, I want you to go into it with the mindset of how you can connect, how you can support, and make sure that the word of mouth is very powerful. If you know someone who is suffering or needs the help, have them reach out to the podcast. We'd be more than happy. We'll make sure that the email is linked and all the ways that you can contact us. But I can't tell you how excited I am to let you guys in on the interview with Leo and Veterans Creed. Let's take a look.
Boots on the ground, I remember the dust. Names on my sleeve, that unshakable trust. Carried my fear in the same old pack. Still took a step when the sky turned black. This is my veteran's creed. I will rise when others bleed. Stand my watch so you can sleep. Hold the line and keep it deep. I came home, but I still lead, living by my veteran's creed.
Welcome to another episode of the Outreach Project podcast. We're lucky enough to have Veterans Creed Outdoors in the studio today. We have Leo with us. I got my co-host Hodge here. Leo, would you mind kicking us off and kind of just introduce yourself and tell us who you are? And
Yeah, first off, I want to thank both y'all for, having me come on here and tell the story, what we're all about. And, appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. My name's Leo, and, I'm from Tomball, Texas. That's where I live. But the rest of the staff, we're all over Texas, from Abilene to San Antonio, El Paso, you name it. We're all over Texas.
are you in more than just Texas or other places as well?
Yes, Veterans Creed as a whole, they're national. Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and a few other states that they're revamping. But I run Texas, so I'm kind of the rebel of the national states. So
You're the man.
yeah, I haven't got fired yet.
Nice, Leo.
Yeah, I'm that guy. And then
What about you, Leo? What about you? And I know you were in the service as well. You mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
yes, sir. I went back in the service, 2018, I was 38 years old. Had to go back to boot camp, and, I was the old man of the guys, but I made it. Had a wonderful, short-lived career. And when I say short-lived, I got medically retired in 2015 from a couple of bad days at the office.
Mm.
Yeah, I hear you, Leo. I just got medically retired as well. So you talk about before we got on screen, you're talking about welcome to the team. Like that's a sincere welcome to the team here. Is there something specific that made you want to jump in to the nonprofit space?
Well, it was once I got out of the military in 2015. It was a hard pill to swallow for me. It really was. I mean, combat was all I know. And business was good back then. And coming out of the military, I didn't have a sense of purpose. I didn't have no direction. I mean, been in the military, we our lives are structured. It made sense. And coming out here, in the real world, it was tough. The world I remember didn't look the same. And what I mean by that is I'm a Purple Heart recipient. I'm still alive to tell the story. Back then, I didn't understand it, man. I mean, I saw my body lifeless on the bottom of this truck, and I fought with that, them demons, and coming home all beat up, and it was tough. And then, coming home, sitting at home, I had like 59 days of terminal leave. I still belong to the government. I'm sitting back and got bored, started drinking. I mean, I was one of the fittest alcoholics the Army had to offer, but I did my job. I mean, hey, let's be real. And the drinking took a toll on me. Trying to deal with the PTSD took a toll on me. Losing my little brother that was in the Marine Corps, that almost broke me. I mean, that right there. I mean, I was emotionally, spiritually, I was dead.
Now with the traumatic events that were taking place, and you trying to find your spot back in the world, I think we go through this kind of a similar transition where we're a part of this group. We call it a tribe, and when you don't have that tribe no more, you feel like you've lost that place. Is when you decided to step out into the nonprofit space, did it make it feel like you were joining a tribe again? Make it give you like that sense of purpose that you were needing?
Absolutely. Because at that time I seen they were looking for staff. I said, staff? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So I made the call, found out what they're about, about hunting and fishing. I mean, and being around other veterans. And I'm not so much of a fisher, but a shooter, hunter. Hey, I'm in. And, they brought me on, and, it was, I excelled just like the military, start out as just a regular pro staffer. Oh, hey, by the way, get a call. Hey, you're going to be a co-lead. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are.
Oh, yes, you are.
Congratulations. I was like, okay, And then, as a co-lead, I didn't ask for permission to do anything. I just went out and did it, and I was making things happen, and it was like, man, I like this, and I was good at it, just like the military. I wasn't the best. I'll never say I was the best at anything, because there's always somebody better than us, and
And look at you now.
yeah. And then they had a change of command, and they wanted, hey, we want somebody to run Texas. I'm not me. Nope, me. And then next thing you know, well, guess what? You're the president of Texas. And I came in. I was like, oh man, what the hell do I do? I don't know I've never run a nonprofit. I mean, I said, I reverted back, hey, I'm a non-commissioned officer. I can do this, and then with the help, the vice president, y'all know, old Marty Jackson. I know Josh does. Him and we talk every day, and and we got vision, for Texas and the organization as a whole. And nothing is just about me. I don't want to be out there on the spotlight. Oh yeah, I'm the head guy of Team Texas. I don't want about me. I just want to sit back, let the team run it, and I sit back and do podcasts, shake hands, and kiss babies.
Well, I guess I do have a question. We'll get this out there too. So, I know Veterans Creed is big on faith, the great outdoors,
Yes.
families, Gold Star families. So who's your main, who do you serve the most? So veteran community, or what's your main focus as Veterans Creed?
Well, we're not just focused on Gold Star, and Purple Heart. We branch out to all over, from active to, veterans, first responders, um, we take them all. It doesn't matter, if you're law enforcement, fire department, EMS, a nurse, or even border patrol. We take them all, because we just don't want to be stuck in one niche,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's good to put out. I mean, for the world and the people listening, to hear kind of the audience for each organization. It's cool to hear, the different aspects, because there are some that focus on, women, like women veterans, or Gold Star families, Purple Hearts only, stuff like that. So to hear, like, you guys are pretty much all across the board.
Yes,
If
sir.
you're serving the community, you're pretty close to most of those organizations or those groups of people that can really come in and get involved.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, who are you guys kind of looking for? Are you guys short in, like, your staff or volunteers? You need more volunteers,
We,
that kind of stuff?
yes, we can always use more volunteers, but I just don't take anybody. It's kind of like you're going to selections. Y'all know what that's about,
Yeah. The right
Um,
people for the right job, right?
yes, because I do phone interviews first. That before I even send out a staffer packet, I want to see where they're at, where their heart, where their mind's at, and then if I feel pretty good about it, regardless, they'll get a second phone call from Marty Jackson, and then once Marty talks to him, him and I will discuss, hey, what did you pick up on this? Do you think he's going to be a good fit? If we both agree upon it, then they get a packet. If not, if Marty picks up, hey, I picked up on that. Okay. You know,
Hmm.
because I want the best of the best, not just, hey, I'm going to come on here, get a shirt and hat and look at me. I'm a staffer and not do a thing. No, because I keep track of everything. And yes, this is a volunteer, all volunteer organization. Nobody gets paid, not even me. You know, um, I will cut you free.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as
Now,
you should.
what Leo, with the idea that this staffer gets hired now, what is the day to day look like for that staffer? How are you guys impacting? So you're wide open net. You're casting a wide net. You just want to help people who need help. What
Yeah.
is some examples you can give the audience on how the nonprofit impacts the people who need the resources on a daily basis? What does it look like from that standpoint?
For the staffer itself, I mean, I got minimal requirements for them. Hey, you do one event a year and run a hunt in that, because I know they have families, wives, and all that. I'm a little bit different. I'm not married. You know, I got me and my dogs, and I mean, when it comes to grandpa duty, hey, that's where I told the line. I'll bring her along with me. But for the most part, I let them go out. Hey, whatever you want to do, just give me the 5 W's: who, what, where, and why. Let me put pen and pencils. The logistics and all that. If the funding's there, we can afford it. Hey, I'm all for it. It's pretty simple. You know, it's
As far as vision, Leo, when you get those 5 W's, do you check off for things that are kind of aligned with the overall values and the mission that your nonprofit is trying to go after? Like, are they going to go out to connect through fellowship, connect through the outdoors, things like that? Are you looking at that and making sure, like, hey, this is a good opportunity for these people? And do you give feedback to those staffers?
Yes, and I mean, there's several examples where, one of my staff picked up on a guy, perfect example, on Facebook talking this craziness, and hey, I'd be better off without, not being here. Well, one of my guys called me and says, "Hey, man, hey, this guy," I says, you know him?" He said, "Yep, give him a call, uh, invite him out to a dove hunt." So he called him, and talked him down off this ledge, brought him out. Guy said, hey, I ain't got no money, to get there, and yada yada yada. I said, tell him, don't worry about it, we got him. And he come out to the hunt. We fellowshipped with him, you know talked to him, and by the time he left there, he told us, thank y'all, what would I take for me to be a staffer? And we brought him on, and this guy, we when I say we, not only myself but the other guys, we mentored him, and this guy, he's done some amazing things, and biggest thing I'm proud of is he turned his life over to the Lord. I mean, that's what it's all about to me.
Yeah, that's. I'd say the one question and kind of one thing that we talk about is man, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. One memory of something that you guys have done, or maybe it was you, maybe it was a story that you brought back, kind of like the one you just told of pretty much gaining a staffer through that. Is there a story or something that somebody brought back from a trip that really impacted you, as far as somebody going on an actual event with you guys that really kind of hit you hard?
Yeah, matter of fact, yeah, it was my trip. Funny you asked that. We did a crappie fish fishing trip, Lake Somerville. We took 3 veterans out on a crappie fishing trip, and I mean, these guys, they had a blast. And I cooked up for them. We just sat around, afterwards at the camp eating and all that. And then we left, and he was the last man standing. And him and we got to talking. And I said, what's up, man? I could tell there was something on his mind. And without going into detail and confidentiality, I mean, he told me some deep stuff. I mean, he actually cried, and we talked, and he was so appreciative. I could tell he was hurting. I mean, I know because I saw myself there. I was once that guy. And after we were done, he got himself together and, said, thank you, gave him a hug. And I asked him, I said, hey, brother, I said, can I ask you a question? And he says, sure. I says, do you mind if I pray for you and over you? And he looked at me, he's surprised. And he says, you would do that? And I said, absolutely. And I prayed, and by the time I finished praying for that man, we were both crying like babies. So, and that's, why I love doing what I do to help these veterans.
Hell yeah, Leo. That's what I'm talking about.
The earlier this year, I actually met all you guys through Marty, and actually through one of your participants in your guys' programs. I think it was through my buddy Mike
Evans.
And it was through Mike Evans, yep. And it was through the flags, and he said, man, I got this dude Marty. He's like, we need to get him one of your flags so he can check out what you're doing. And we did. So I started getting the flags to Marty, and man, it's such a snowball it's like a snowball of goodness when people get involved. And you can Hodge, I'm going to touch on it already because this just happened to Hodge and I today, from us just putting out what we put out. We haven't even put out an episode yet. And people hear what you're doing, and like Mike leads to Marty, and Marty leads to you. And, I go out to Orange Corn, where they're, putting together a way to donate to you guys and help out what you're doing because they love it. And then I meet you, and it's so awesome to see the networking and what you guys do echo into the community. If you see, Leo's hat, Everly stock is quite apparent in Hodge and I's lives. We're both, he's a brand new retired J-Tech, but that's the world we come from.
Right.
And man, I got a whole story into Everly stock, man. it's so crazy to see the network snowball. And a guy reached out today and was like, "Hey, I love what you guys doing." And he's like, "I'm involved in the hunting community in on the east side of the states." And I'm sorry, my dog's going all back in, big old guard dog going. But yeah, so it's this snowball of goodness, and it comes in, and people want to do more, and they see you doing it, so that almost gives them permission to do it too. And it's so cool to see it. Networking for you, I know you guys do a lot of events. You're doing, connecting with vendors, connecting with donors, and like Everly Stock and knife companies and stuff like that. What works the best for you guys to get out into the community and really reach like donors and businesses that want to connect?
Well, I don't know how to. That's a broad question. I mean,
Yeah, is it like gun shows, or is it,
um,
like, is there an event that works awesome for you guys to really connect with people
well,
that,
as far when it comes to shows, there's only we as a team go, and that's the God in the Great Outdoors. Uh, we've been
and
attending.
that's a show? That's a gun show or what?
It is kind of like the Hunter Extreme.
Okay, like an expo.
Yeah, but it's
Yep.
called
Okay.
God in the Great Outdoors Expo. And why I chose that one, it's small, and it was out in Tyler, Texas. And I know the man who runs it, Tom, uh, very godly man, and it's about God and family, and that's what I love. I don't want to
Mm.
be I don't want to be one of these organizations where you're making millions of dollars and getting a paycheck. How do you call yourself a nonprofit? I do it because I want to, because I love what I do, not to get paid. I mean, if I wanted to get paid, I'd go get a real job, which that ain't happening. You know? But I love what I do.
Yeah.
Um, so I like to stay, closer with the hometown feeling, more personal with the everyday, man, woman, and child. And going to a small show like that, people say, "Oh, I ain't never heard of you," and we tell them what we're about. They said, "Oh, wow, we love what you're doing," So, you know, it- to me, it's not about making a paycheck in this position.
Hey Leo,
Yeah.
so from a standpoint of a vet or anyone out there who wants to make the call, if they're on the fence about their spiritual aspect in life, how would you tell them, like, hey, we can still support you. We want you to come here, and we can show you how the spiritual aspect really impacts us and the way we do business here, because it sounds like you guys are grounded in faith.
Yes. Well, I might as well go ahead and let it out of the bag now. I'm part of the veterans ministry at our church at Real Life Ministries, Texas, here in Tomball. And I help lead the veterans ministry. Well, the church was gracious enough and got me a grant to take a course. It's called Reboot. I do the military section, and we also do first responders. And we're going to join forces. And what this program does, it's a 12-week course, 2 hours, one night a week. On the veteran side, I got it to where it's no cost to them, no cost. And we get down to the nitty gritty, see what's going on. And also, little caveat on that, I just finished up my biblical counseling certification. So that doesn't mean I'm going to run around and beat you overhead, with the Bible. No, it's faith based, and
I think that's important, Leo, for people are out there who may want to reach out to any of the states that's inside the nonprofit. They may want to reach out to you just based on that, and I think it's important to highlight that stuff. And I mean, I know you're not looking for a congratulations, but I mean, it's a big win for someone who is grounded in faith to know that, hey, I can go get help, I can get the resources I need, and it's spiritually backed the way that I feel like I approach life. And I think that's a very important thing for the audience to know too, is, man, these guys are going to help me in every aspect that I need. And I like I said, congrats, man. And, don't undermine that. That's a huge thing for you and your nonprofit.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, Marty says, "Oh, you're to become a preacher." No, I'm not becoming a preacher, But Marty. But I find it's very important, in at first I say, you know what, I'll just take it, get a little bit of knowledge and all that, and then the next thing you know, I was like, oh wow, man, I got my certifications, okay, and I'm sitting there asking myself, and okay, God, what do you want me to do? I'm gonna quit fighting, because I had a conversation with my lead pastor, Brandon Ginden, and we were talking, Leo and Brandon, and his pastor, and as one of his leaders, and he looked at me, he says, "Quit wrestling with God." I said, "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." And I just kind of sat there for a minute. I said, okay, you're right. And it was like when I when I openly admitted I quit wrestling, and came home, I said, "All right, God, just do what you want with me." And yeah, I'm doing it. I mean, and it's just, and I get calls from other veterans just wanting to talk, or from the veterans ministry, and this is my outlook with the veterans ministry and Veterans Creek. They all go hand in hand with me. If we can help just a veteran, a first responder, or any human being, let's put it at that, not do the unthinkable, start a pistol or a shotgun, we take that as a win. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, team. And they keep coming, gentlemen. They keep coming.
Yeah, I think having something on your radar in the future is such a big thing for anyone in our community. And it's, I know it kind of sounds like a small thing. I know you run Texas, but when you send teams out, like I went out with you guys earlier this year, and we were on an adventure in Idaho. Like, it's a full on expedition. It's the hardest hunt that I've ever done in my whole life so far. It is not a small thing. It's not like we're going out in the farm field here locally. I mean, there is some of that, but we were climbing mountains in Idaho. I mean, it was an adventure. Like we went and met up with Eberly stock guys and Glenn Eberly himself, the guy whose name is on your hat, like the legend himself. Yeah. And they're like, here you go. They gave us a ruck, and we're on our way climbing mountains in Idaho hunting bears. And I mean, it was a full on expedition. It is not a small thing. So I want people to kind of realize that, like, you run Texas, but man, your team, like, and Marty is the one that I went with, and the rock stars, man, like, and you feel when you go with somebody who's a staffer for your organization, you feel like you're taken care of. That you're with somebody who's well versed in what they do. They have the contacts. They're in touch with you. You know what's going on the trip. Like, it's a very organized, planned thing. I just think it's awesome, man. I don't know I know you guys have done stuff. I saw some of the ram hunts. A couple of guys are out there doing crazy stuff hunting oudads, but tell us about kind of some of the cool stuff that, I mean, I know you're always doing crazy stuff, but
no, I wake up and Lord help me. Yeah. I'm that guy. I mean, I love Jesus, but I want to choke people out. Yes, it is true.
I think we're all in that boat, really.
Oh, man,
that's a pretty common boat.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah. Someone says, what would Jesus do? Well, Jesus flipped tables, so watch Leo. But, yeah, we've had some amazing hunts. I mean, we got to give it to Rio Grande River Outfitters. With the free range aoudad hunts. We just recently took out Tyler Vargas. I don't know if y'all were tracking that and saw all that. Yeah. And and it's because of the team. Marty set all that up. And like you said, we just don't say, "Hey, let's make this happen." Good fairy idea. No, we think about it from play the whole tape through. What it's the cost logistically, the whole 9 yards, and and thank you, to Eberly Stock, one of our big supporters and sponsors. I mean, they come out there and made that trip happen, and the trip before that with Rio Grande, you can talk to Mike Evans. He was out there, and the guys from Eberly Stock were out there. I mean, it, it's funny how, like you said, this is all meshing together, but those are some of the memorable trips, Then you got Idaho. Right now, we're also partnership with Delta Waterfowl. We got Delta, the Waterfowl project going on. People, if they go on to our Veterans Creed Outdoors Team Texas Trips page, and they can go in there and pick a date. I mean, Jonathan, he's out there. I very rarely talk to him during duck season. Other than that, I'm talking to him more than I am Marty sometimes,
Yeah.
But and then and we got some other things we're working. I don't want to reveal because loose lips tips and all the figures out there, and so I don't like telling people my next move. They'll know it when it happens.
Well, outside of telling the next move, Leo, if you could, some people can't dedicate time, or they may not be able to dedicate as much as a staffer could. How could someone actually support the mission that your nonprofit has from, let's say, the other side of a phone? Is there any way that they could donate? Is there a way that they could do something? I know spreading the gospel word of mouth is something that you'd probably like to have happen, but from where you're sitting in Texas, how can someone help if they just found out about your organization?
I mean, anybody across the nation, Texas, outside, or whatever it may be, if they give me a call, send an email, hey, I would like to sponsor a hunt. Okay. What do you want to see happen? Because I sit down with ranchers, landowners, I mean, outfitters all the time. If I go up to one of them, tell them, say, hey, I got a private party, they're going to cover the cost of it, give it to it as our rate, because some hunts are completely donated, some you got to pay to play, and the ones we do pay for, they are heavily discounted. And I mean, they don't have to do that for us. But, if people want to donate monetarily, hey, give me a call. I'll set it up. And if you just tell me, say, hey, I want to sponsor a duck hunt, a deer hunt, a youth hunt, whatever hunt you want, we make that happen.
That one thing I would say I'm one of your biggest proponents out in the community of just telling. I talk to as many people as I possibly can and try and spread the word of the nonprofit area, the nonprofit space in general, because like in Texas, for example, hunting has become, they say it's become a rich man's sport.
Oh yeah.
Texas is mainly privately owned. Where I come from, Michigan, I could go to the gas station, buy a hunting license, and boom, I'm on, endless state land that I could hunt. You can't do that in Texas. So there's a lot of people from the veteran community, the first responder community that are here, like dislocated, usually in the military. They get stationed here, whatever, and they're like, man, I'd love to hunt. I don't have anywhere to go. And I'm like, have you ever talked to a nonprofit in your life? And they're like, no, I've never heard of that. So I'm always out trying to get people like, man, I have a bunch of contacts for you. Here's my card. On my site, I have you guys on there. I have the profits that we work with on there. And that's what's huge to me, is just spreading the word of what you guys do, and trying to get those first responders and everybody just out in the world and make them realize that there's a way to do it through what you guys do. But man, I can't say enough good things about everything that you guys do. It really, I really appreciate it. So
Thank you, Josh. And I mean, appreciate y'all too. And I mean, I remember the first time I met you was out at Orange Corn, presenting the flag, and I was like, man, I ain't no little guy. How? And I mean, my thoughts are like, where am I? I'm going to have to get him low if we fight. I mean, that was my thought, man.
You better pack a lunch, Leo. You better pack a lunch when you go up to Josh.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Think low too.
I don't get feisty too often these days. I try and stay away from the feisty side, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the networking piece, talking about like places like Orange Corn and so Eberly Stock. I know Hodge, you don't know the story, but Eberly Stock and Leo in our team room. I mean, you were in the Army, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were prior Army, right? So we used Eberly Stock rucks on all our deployments, and you always knew, and I put this together. When I went on the trip with Marty to Idaho, we were going to stop in at the Eberly Stock actual shop in Idaho. That's their headquarters. And I was like, oh man, that's cool. And he had already given them one of my flags. So my flag is hung up in their shop. And he was like, man, I'd really like to take you through there and introduce you to these guys. So we go there and, these guys are all like the coolest dudes you've ever met, like huge hunters. I mean, their shop is like my dream garage is about what you're like walking into. And we're sitting there talking. And I was like, man, it's such a transition going from the military and I was like, I'm not just BSing you guys, man. Like when they would come and we would go to the Army, we get the CIF issue, gear, whatever. You're like, man, I'm wearing what the Army wears this time, and then if you get the goodies, when it gets a little bit closer to deployment, we get some of the yum Air Force stuff. We got that little Air Force money. And then, old team starting to walk in and throw a stack of Eberly Stock rucks in the middle of the room. And dude, you were doing backflips. Like now I got some badass gear to take with me on this deployment. And I know it's going to stand the test of time. And I'm standing there telling, and Glenn Eberly showed up, who started Eberly Stock, and his son, who's their marketing guy, I believe now. And I'm standing there telling him, I'm like, it's such a crazy transition to go from now they're handing us a ruck. They gave us a ruck to go hunting. So I'm like, I went from, throwing it in the middle of the team room and grabbing one, like, oh, I get one now. And I take it on the deployment. I go do the thing. I come back and it still lasts. I still have it. I could go get it out of the other room. And then I come here and now you're handing me a ruck to go do my thing as a civilian, grow my old man beard out, hunting bears in Idaho. And you're still the ones I trust. You're still the ones supporting veterans. Like, how cool is that? And they're like, dude, you're like a walking commercial. And I was like, if you guys made a commercial like that, I was like, that'd be a really cool short video thrown in the middle of the team room. Now you're throwing in the middle of the team room to go bear hunt and go, those dudes elk hunt, they do crazy stuff. They do the Hat Creek stuff. Like, man, they're just living the cool life, man. But that networking piece, man, I cannot say enough about that. Just sitting there talking, we met at Orange Corn. Orange Corn produces deer corn that's scented with citrus smell, which is the biggest secret on the planet, or the best secret on the planet for deer attractant in your deer feeder. If you haven't found them, I'd probably go find them. But when I sit around and I talk to these guys, and they're like, oh, I wish I had something I could do. And I was like, well, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I work for, some deer stand company. I'm like, oh, I know some guys that could use some deer stands. And they're like, then now you have another connection, you know what I mean? And that happens all the time, whether it's a big corporation. I think that's one of the coolest ways that people can get involved is to give either from their business side or their time. But realistically, it's that connection. Like, man, we could get you into SHOT Show, or we could get you into the Total Archery Challenge. And all of a sudden now I have 3,000 connections just doing amazing things, making good stuff happen. But I know that's kind of a long-winded thing, but man, you guys are in it. And I feel like you and Marty and your team is just rock stars at it. And you can see it in Marty because his wheels are always turning. He's connecting the dots with everybody that you can think of. You know what I mean? So going to shows with those guys has to be intense with the connections. Like, oh, I got something for you. I'm gonna write that down. I got you.
Yeah. And then me and Marty still got to make a trip back out to Orange Corn and talk to Mike and Ashley and iron out some other details, and I'm not going to reveal, but it's something to be pretty spectacular. And Josh, you'll be there, trust me. I mean, because that you remember when we went out there, and I mean, you presented that flag. I mean, that family is so humble and really a godly family, and it really touched my heart when they looked at us and, you know what? Nobody's ever given us anything, and we just
That's
gave
crazy.
just a flag, as our appreciation.
Yeah.
And Marty talks to them all the time, and him and I are going to go have a meeting out there with them and get some more logistics and stuff ironed out.
Yeah. Hodge, do you have anything that you can think of kind of from the outside? I know you're just you're a freshly retiring guy, I think the most fresh perspective is probably yours as far as some, anything that somebody would want to know coming from the outside looking in.
No, I mean,
Anything
from
else?
Leo, from your perspective, man, I mean, from not going on any of the hunts or any of the adventures or any of the fellowship that you guys provide for the nonprofit space, for me, I guess I would like to know, like, if you were to have a moment to just tell someone, even from the Texas standpoint or from the national standpoint, like, what is the one thing I want you to take away from what we do at Veterans Creed? Like, what is that?
I'll speak for Texas
Hell yeah.
behalf, and one thing that I'll speak on, I and my team, on behalf of my team. When you go out with us, be a fishing trip, hunting, whatever it may be, a family event, the takeaway is we want you to know you're not out there alone battling whatever you're dealing with. That this is a brotherhood, sisterhood, that we're still brothers and sisters. And the main thing, you're loved, man. You're safe with us. And if I had to give you my last dollar, I'd do it. And
Leo, I mean, listen, I can't tell you, like, I think we entered the interview thinking that, we were going to share things and it was going to matter. And like, we were going to be able to take to our website. Like, these guys I didn't expect it to be such powerful dialogue coming from your side. I can obviously tell you that you're passionate about what you do, and this nonprofit is in great hands, especially in the state of Texas. It's
Yes.
amazing to hear what you guys are doing. It's amazing to hear how much you guys care. And I think that's going to translate well to the audience that picks up on this show. And they know that Leo's got their back. And Josh says it all the time. And I know 100% you're going to be on the same boat. If they need you, just reach out and they will connect. And I know for a fact, you stepping up to take this interview on the podcast, it kind of puts the money where the mouth is. If they reach out, you're going to connect.
Yeah, and like I said, if somebody's down on their luck, I mean, what I see going on in the veteran community, and I'm a veteran myself, so are y'all, and they don't want to go to the VA. Okay, well, I'm trying to eliminate the VA stuff. I'm not a mental health specialist by far. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that. But if you pick up that phone and call me, it doesn't matter if I'm asleep, whatever I'm doing. If you need somebody to talk to, hey, I'm going to be there. And so will any of my other staff. And I mean, what I found is the common ground is, hey, we're veterans. Okay, we're safe. Yeah, okay. Hey, man, what's going on, man? You want to share? You want to talk about it? But, I'd rather sit there and talk to a fellow veteran, to the wee hours of the morning than him do the unthinkable, man. Because I was once that guy. I mean, I was emotionally and spiritually dead, a raging alcoholic, cost me my marriage, and I'm not proud of it, but hey, I'm Leo Richardson. I'm a non-commissioned officer, getting blown up. It didn't kill me. I'm a Purple Heart recipient. And then, at the end of the day, man, that don't mean a hell of beans, because I was out in the garage looking at my rack. I was looking at I said, damn, when did I get that? I can't tell you what those awards are for other than I was doing my job that I love. So if I was that passionate about the Army, why can't I be that passionate about Veterans Creed and our veterans? And if I can't help you, I can help walk by your side and get you the help. But you have to want the help, not just, and that's
Well, Leo, I'm going to tell you right now, man, like from just a non-biased standpoint of not being on these adventures and things like that, you may not care about it, but the legacy that you're going to leave behind by caring for people who just don't know where they're at, and you reach out to them, or maybe they reach out to you, and you pick up that phone. I think the legacy of what you stand for, it doesn't mean a hill of beans. I think it's going to stand for a lot more. And I think Josh can attest to how much these adventures really impact a veteran's life or a first responder's life. We spoke to, and I'll turn it over to Josh on this one, but we talked about how important it was just to see things pop up on a calendar and why it matters to us, all of us, right? So if we are struggling, like if you put something in front of us, the one thing that we know is we're going to get the job done. We're going to strive to meet the mission objective. And I think that's what you would provide for a lot of these people that just don't know yet. And what I want people that are on the other side of this camera to understand is if you are struggling and you reach out to Leo, you reach out to me, or you reach out to Josh, we will meet you halfway and we will sit there and say, this is your next objective. This is your waypoint. Just move out. And I think that will matter to a lot of people. Josh, can you just give us that quick roll up on like why that matters to see that through the eyes of a veteran?
Yeah, I think, and we've talked about it before, but having something on the calendar is just one thing. It's so powerful to even have something to look forward to, no matter when that is. I mean, if you had told me, Marty kind of sprung it on me that I was even going to go on an adventure with y'all. That was the first thing I'd done with you guys. And he's like, you want to go on a bear hunt? And I'm like, what? It was that's the coolest sounding adventure ever. Right. But to back up a little bit into kind of what you're saying. So overall, I've looked at this, the outreach project for a couple years now, and I've war gamed this for a couple years of there's 1.9 million nonprofits active in the United States. And that in itself is so overwhelming to most people that they don't get involved. The gap that we're trying to bridge is bringing people like Veterans Creed Outdoors on, and you, Leo, to bring it down to earth and take it from, I'm involved with a nonprofit. It sounds like it's like an office building somewhere, and it's not. And now to have you here, just pouring your heart and soul and your life and your faith and all this stuff into everything that you guys are doing, we hope to kind of bring that down to ground level to veterans, first responders, their families, people in need, to show them how easy it is to get involved in that. And I've been guilty of it too. I think we all are. When you retire, you get out, you're on your own, or, even for that first responder that's out there listening too. I mean, you think you're alone. You almost feel like you want to be alone in the dark, and you don't have to do that. And I think it kind of sneak attacks you with getting involved with an organization like Veterans Creed. You think you're going on a hunt. You're signing up for a lot more than that. You're signing up for people that will not leave you behind. They're now your family. Like, you now have this network of people, and that's just one organization, right? So like, if you get involved with them and then you start helping out another one, and you might get involved with a couple and give some of them your time, you start to have this spider web of support. And I think it's really important for me, for people to see that is like, you may have lost some of your military, first responder, whatever that is, your support background when you got out or transitioned out. This is a whole new one. And you have such a cool opportunity to find something that resonates with you. Hunting might not resonate with everybody. The outdoors, I mean, there's finding love and faith in the outdoors and helping people. But man, there's something for everyone in all of these organizations, no matter how you want to get involved. And to kind of go back to it, but that putting the thing on the calendar, if you had told me, if Marty had given me any notice whatsoever, that he gave me a little bit. I won't say he didn't give me none, but
he didn't say no.
If that was, I wouldn't care if it's tomorrow. I'd still go. if you had told me it was a year out and we're like, hey, we're going to start planning for this. This is on the calendar. It's not a for sure, but it's a maybe. I'm stoked. I'm stoked. And the things in life get a little bit brighter. Somebody hands you a little bit brighter candle to carry around, like it's just that hope of like, man, there's still some good adventures in front of me. My old life doesn't have to be all the good times are behind me with, down in Afghanistan or Iraq or that one time and, when we were in it. There's still plenty of adventures to go be had. And I think that's what you guys provide. I really do.
Right. So,
But
on that, but by us doing that, it's not only helping the veterans, and it helps me. It helps, Marty. It helps Tony. When we're out there with these guys, because believe it or not, I struggle with stuff. So do my staff. But that's what makes this team a brotherhood and a sisterhood is we all got struggles. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I got them, but we all got medical conditions and this and that we deal with. And they're not only my team, we're family, man.
it's a little bit easier to go through with other people too. You know what I mean? You don't have to struggle by yourself when you
Yeah,
can struggle together.
well, funny you say that. I mean, me speaking this, I mean, I'll tell you a little story from where I was to where I am. I was at the Tomball VA right here. I was walking out, and at that time, the Church Real Life Ministries was right next door to the VA. And it was on a Tuesday. I was walking out, still hating life. Don't want nobody to talk to me, look at me. I'll throat punch you just for hi. And there was a gentleman come out, older gentleman, Rick Goldsby. Love that man. He came up to me, put his arm around me, and I was like, I was like, oh, I'm fixing to break this old man's nose. He says, hey, bud, how are you? I was like, he told me, met his name, gave me his name, and he told me about the veterans group. That's how I got into the veterans ministry, by this man. And as a veteran, and at that time where I was, man, he met me where I was at, just like you said. He saw me broken, and to make a long story short, and I'll forever love this man until I get to see him in heaven. It's like he mentored me. He took me under his arm. He was the father I never had. He loved me. Did we argue? Absolutely. But he loved me. He mentored me. And he says, how would you like to, be part of the veterans ministry? And I was like, sure. So I would go out and find guest speakers, and I was pretty good. Hey, man, would you like to come and speak? Whatever. Yeah. And anyway, make long story short, lost Rick a while ago, and he always told me, hey, go ahead and take over the ministry. You're ready, bud. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Sure enough, well, Rick goes to heaven, and guess who's stuck with the ministry? He got it. But he made the biggest impact in my life to where I am, when it comes to the veterans ministry and Veterans Creed being, Christian faith-based organization. That's where I belong, and
Yeah.
me as one of the leaders, I'm not going to bow down to my faith or any of this cancel culture. People say, what are, oh, so you're all religious? No, I don't follow religion. I follow Jesus. Big difference. But I'm this worldly crap. No, that's not what we're all about. We're not about politics. We're about brotherhood, fellowship. Hey, if you want healing, hey, we got you. You know, and that's why my heart's in it, and so is the other teams. And if you ain't got that kind of heart and drive, I don't need you. Don't want you.
Well, Leo, I can't tell you, man, how I say it again, like how powerful your stories are. I think from the flip side of the camera here, I think everyone out there needs to understand that your story is just as important to Leo, just important to me, just important to Josh. But these stories can impact you. It just takes some guy to go out and wrap his arm around you and say, I got you. And they can make an impact on you just like that for Leo. And I hope that you guys see that coming out of the outreach project. That's what we're trying to do, is trying to get you into that space as well. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, Leo, and I don't want to take up your time, but man, I can't tell you how much from a fellow veteran, like how much this meant to me.
Yes,
you're just a crazy Texan who wants to flip tables, and it's just amazing. It's amazing to hear your stories,
Jesus
man.
flipped tables, so that's people ask what would Jesus do? Hey, he flipped the table,
But sitting here over the last 56 minutes, Leo, it's been amazing. I know, like I don't know how many podcasts you've ever done, if you've done more than just this one, but
Oh, absolutely.
okay, well then they were in for a treat, because I stepped into this thinking, oh, it's we're going to talk about the space, we're going to talk about nonprofit stuff, and not to take away from any other guests we had, but man, you're just one crazy ass Texan who just wants to help people, and I love it.
Yeah, and I mean that's what it's all about, and like I said, it's not about the money, and I'll go on a little rant here, but all the no, if I may, you can cut it out if you want.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Send it.
Yeah, everybody says, oh, we're nonprofit. Okay. I understand you got expenses and all that. Other nonprofits are bigger and all that, but when you take a paycheck, I mean, you got other nonprofits, they're leaders that making big time money, and then running a nonprofit and then taking more money. What kind of crap is that? You're taking away from other veterans. That's how me and Marty see it. I may piss other organizations off, but oh well. Get in the back of the line, join the, and I don't take a dime. None of our staff takes a dime. So how can I consider us a true nonprofit? I mean, riddle me that one.
Well, I have one more question that I kind of want to touch on before we get off of here.
All right.
And I know that you guys have, and I know you guys just recently did some youth hunts too, right?
Yes, I posted those on our Instagram and Facebook. Because how this all started, Marty and I, and even Jonathan, we're looking, you know what? The veterans, they always, go out on hunts. Let's flip the script. Why don't we take a veteran and youth? And let me tell you that the impact, just to see these kids smile, and the parents, I mean, go on our Instagram page, and I posted it on there. And I mean, on the Facebook, it was priceless, and we had a gentleman, and my biggest one was, we've had a lot of fathers and daughters, mother and daughter, and
Yeah, because that's a cool aspect, like the teaching aspect. One of the hesitations a lot of people have is, man, I haven't hunted since I was like a child. So as an adult, and especially, there's some pride involved, right? There's some, you want to act like you know everything and you're the best shooter in the world and you can hunt all this stuff. That's not the case. Like a lot of people haven't done it since they were a child, if they've ever done it at all. And, like I try and take the hesitation out of it for people. I'm like, just go get involved. You don't have to be a pro. Like I just put my bow together, and I was going to take my rifle with me to go bear hunt in Idaho, but I want to take my bow too. And it just so happens I have Tony, who's one of the best shooters in Texas, is teaching me, and Dustin both, working in the archery industry. But man, I went as like a student, and I couldn't have been more excited to just soak up as much as I can, from sitting next to Tony. He's a pro pro shooter. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
And
he's going actually going doing a whole bunch of shoots coming up. I'm really proud of Tony. And add a little caveat on that. Um, we brought Sylvia Perino, his wife, on as a staffer now. So
awesome.
because I would like more females to be involved, and that's why bringing Sylvie in, and I'm gonna let her handle all the female stuff, because there's more to it than just hunting. If they want to go fishing, if they whatever females want to do, I'm leaving that all up to Sylvia. So no pressure on you, Sylvia, if you hear this. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, just taking that aspect of like it's open for everyone, right?
yeah,
Like you don't have to be hesitant just because you haven't done it in a long time or you don't have the fancy equipment. Like when I showed up in Texas, I had my grandpa's 30-30 from, the 70s. And that was all I had. And that was enough. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have, or you have nothing. That's fine too. There's plenty of people that'll give you what you need to just get involved, but just get involved is the thing. Like, and you don't have to be in Texas, am I right? To do it?
no, I mean,
As long as you can get here.
long as if you put your name in for the drawing, I mean, because that's how we do ours. It's in for those wanting to get in some of our hunts. Please go to Veterans Creed Outdoors Team Texas Trips, and that's on Facebook. Okay, you fill out some information, we'll review it. If you fill out the questions and all that, we'll accept it. And we'll post whatever hunt, be it a deer hunt, duck hunt, whatever it may be. And if you're selected, and we do all our drawings Facebook Live, so there's no, well, who won the hunt? We don't send it out an email. I mean, we when I say we as a team want to be so transparent to people. Just like if you can go on, we had the annual raffle. I did that Facebook Live, and
Yep, I just saw that.
yeah, sorry you didn't win, Joe. So.
I didn't win, but
but thank you for your support, though.
thank you for your service. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, well, I mean, so I guess we'll get into that. How do people find you guys? I don't know. So Facebook is your main means. Facebook to get involved, get signed up, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Yes. You can find us on Facebook. All my information's on there from my that phone number on there. Yes, that's my phone, and it's been going off like crazy. You can contact me there or send us a email on Instagram, however you want to. I mean, we're not hard to get a hold of. If I don't answer, one of the staff will, and they'll get the message to me.
Perfect. Hodge, what you got?
Nothing, Leo. Like I said already, you're just one crazy ass Texan who's grounded in faith and just wants to help the world, man. And I love it. I can't wait till this episode drops to get the comments and the feedback, because I just don't think you know just how good of a character you are. I mean, you could go into a book, a movie. Like, it's amazing. I had no clue that I was going to step into this interview and see.
He's
Leo.
just jealous of your beard.
Dude, the beard is fantastic. It's fantastic. I'm catching up though. Josh is just mad he doesn't have the gray going into it just yet.
I do. I dyed it. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
No, but Leo, from the bottom of my heart, man, I really appreciate what you do for first responders, for the kids, for the veterans, just for everybody out there. And your take on nonprofits is amazing. I know not every nonprofit is going to share those ideas, but I know from you're just wanting to make an impact, and you're wanting to do it, and you do it because you care. And I really appreciate it. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you do for the nonprofit space. And I can't be more proud to be a part of this and be associated with you from this point forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Leo, for taking this, this is Christmas week is when we're recording this. So this is a hectic week for a lot of people. You stepped in, you stepped up. And like I was telling Hodge, I was like, the people that are going to want to come on the outreach project and talk about what they do are the people that are proud rock stars of what they do. And They do it for the right reasons. They're helping the right people for the right reasons. And we could not be more appreciative. I love everything you're doing. I know, like, I love all you guys, and just having people that you can call and have support is, everything in what we're trying to do and bridging that gap between the people who need the resources and the resources that you guys provide. And we couldn't be more proud to be a part of it. And we just loved having you on. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, you know, if a veteran, first responder, anybody in general, I mean, we're all humans. If you're struggling, I mean, reach out and, you know, give me a call. I can either point you in the direction. I mean, you know, don't think you're out there alone. You know, that's why I'm here, you know. And like I said, because I was once that guy, didn't care if I lived or died, you know. And I mean, we're all put on this earth for a reason, and I want to keep you here a little bit longer.
And you're here now and you're rocking it.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
well, for us here at the Outreach Project, we thank all you guys for tuning in. This closes up episode 2 with Veterans Creed Outdoors. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
You too.
Let's go!